Hello everyone, it's your girl Tino Adi of Style Bahi and you're welcome to another beautiful tutorial. In this tutorial I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful bubu dress with Asooke. I know we are all familiar with the neck design on the yellow one, but today I'll be showing you how to make this other beautiful one with this V cut at the lower part of the neck design. So without wasting much of our time, let's jump right into the tutorial. I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into four. That is, I'll be cutting the front and the back pieces together. Okay, so and the measurement I used to put this fabric on fold is half of my shoulder measurement plus my sleeve length. Okay, so my sleeve length is 16, but I'll be minusing 6 from it because I'll be completing the sleeve part with Asooke. Okay, that is my Asooke there. Yes, so I'll be using that Asooke to complete the sleeve part. So instead of using 16, I'm going to go ahead and use 10, and I'll be adding 1 inch to it for joining. Okay, so half of my shoulder measurements is 8 plus 10, then plus 1 inch for my seam allowance. So I've gone ahead to cut out the excesses from that part after measuring half of my shoulder measurement plus 11 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to draw out my starting line, and I'll go ahead to take a neck width of 3.5 inches wide and 1 inch depth for the back neckline. Okay, and that is my neck design, the front neck design. Okay, you determine where you want it to stop. For me, I measured 18 inches. Okay, and that is my front neck depth, how deep I want the front to be. So the first measurement was where you want the neck design to stop, and the other one is where you want the neck opening to stop. Okay, so went ahead to measure 2.5 inches from my neck width to where I want the neck design to stop. Then I collected it to my 3.5 neck width, like so. So after connecting to the neck width, please be sure to blend where the straight line connected to the 3.5 inch, okay, so that there won't be any form of sharp edge. And the next thing we are going to do now is to create the V kind of cuts at the lower part of the design. Please, at this part, be sure not to do more than 2 inches, okay, so that the front part will be relaxed. Just that invariably you can do between 0.5 to 2 inches, but please don't do above 2 inches. So I'll go down by 1.5 inch in my case, then I'll connect it like so. We're as good as done for the neck marking for both the front and the back pieces. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do now is to take our shoulder slant, and I'll be taking a shoulder slant of 1.5 inch. Okay, so like I said earlier, I took half of my shoulder measurements, and the remaining part is my sleeve length, which I will later be completing with the Asooke. Okay, so at the end where I have my sleeve length, I'll go down by 1.5 inch, and I'm going to go ahead and connect it to my neck width. Okay, so after taking our shoulder slant, we are as good as done, because this is a butterfly kind of design. Okay, there's nothing more to be done on both the front and the back pieces. The next thing we are going to do now is to cut out. So I'll be starting off with the back neckline. Okay, please don't make the mistake of cutting the front neckline first. So after cutting the back neckline, I'll add an inch to the shoulder. Okay, then I'll remove one of the pieces, then I'll cut out my front neckline. So the piece that I removed will be my back piece, okay, while the other one will serve as my front. So after removing the back piece, I'll go ahead and arrange the front piece well and secure with pins. Then I'll go ahead with the cutting of the neckline.
So after cutting, this is what we have. You can see how the front piece is looking now. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do now is to come in with the front piece. I'm going to go ahead and join the shoulder with half an inch. Okay, I'll go ahead and place the front on the back piece with right side facing each other. Then I'll go ahead and join with half an inch. So after I was done joining the shoulder, I went ahead to open press it. Please make sure to serge your pieces before you start joining if you have a serger. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to fold both the front and the back pieces together, okay, in order to get our center. Remember, we already have our center part for the front, which is that V parts that we cut at the down parts, but for the back we are going to go ahead and fold it into two, okay, and we are going to give it a notch at the center of the back. And afterwards I'm going to go ahead and take the measurement of the neckline from the center back like so. So I'll go ahead and start the measurement from where I notched at the back all the way to the end of the front neckline. Okay, I'll take the total measurement. Remember, the fabrics are on fold. Okay, so I'll take the total measurement and I'm going to go ahead and use that value to cut out my asooke. Remember, the fabric is folded, so that means we are going to double the value that we get. So in my case I got 24 inches, so I'm going to measure 24 inches in two places, which I have already done. I went ahead to measure 24 inches two times, okay, because our fabric was folded. I measured 24 inches two times and I had added like 4 inches to it to be on the safer side. It is better to have excess and cut out in this design than to have shortage. I've also gone ahead to fold it into two and I gave it a very good press. Remember, we cut out 2.5 inches from our front neck for the neck design, so the width of this asooke is 6 inches, on fold is 3 inches, 2.5 for what we cut out, then half an inch to join it back to the main piece. So the next thing we are going to do now is to still keep our fabric on fold and take a measurement from our notch at the back, which is the center back, up to the front neck depth. Remember, we took two measurements in front, the front neck depth and where we want our collar design to stop, okay, the front design to stop. Okay, so I went ahead to take the measurement from the center back, which is the notch we took, up to that neck depth. Okay, the value I got, I'll go ahead and mark it on the asooke. Just as you see me do, fold your asooke into two, just as you see me do, and from the folded end measure the value that you got. Okay, from that part you are going to run a stitch down. Okay, from that point where you mark, run a stitch down up to the end of the asooke, following the crease line that you created at the middle of the asooke. Yes, just like that. That's how you're going to run the stitch. Then after running the stitch and turning to the right side, this is what I have. You can see how it is looking now. Okay, so as it is now, that is our neck opening, and this is the other part that we sewed, and you can see that it is closed. Next thing now we're going to do is to give the collar a notch. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give it a notch at the midpoint like so. Okay, and I'm going to introduce it to the main fashion fabric. Okay, remember we notched the main fashion fabric at the center back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and match up the notch on the collar with the notch on the fashion fabric, making them match like so. I'll go ahead and pin it. Okay, I'll go ahead and secure them together with a pin. After pinning the center together, I mean the collar and the fashion fabric together at the center like so, I'll go ahead and still secure the asooke to the fashion fabric on the neckline towards the left and towards the right, just as you see me do. I'll go ahead and secure them together with pin. Okay, because we'll be joining the asooke design with the fashion fabric. Okay, so we need to properly secure them together. So before we proceed with the pinning, we need to do something really important. I'm going to go ahead and give 3 corners in notch, okay, like half an inch cut. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the 2 sides, that part. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give it a snipe like half an inch. I will do the same to the other side, and the mid point to the center front, I'm going to give it a slight notch of half an inch. So we have 3 points that we are going to give a notch of half an inch. Please, this point is really important, and cut diagonally at those 2 parts, yes, but at the midpoint cut straight. Cut diagonally on the 2 sides, but cut straight at the midpoints. Please watch the video closely. So I'll go ahead and proceed with the pinning before I'll take to my sewing machine to join with half an inch. So after joining, this is what I have. You can see that it's sitting pretty, even without ironing yet. It's looking nice already. Okay, so I stopped where we cut diagonally. Okay, I stopped my sewing where we cut diagonally, the point where we cut diagonally. That's where I stopped my stitch. So I'll go ahead and turn to the wrong side, okay, and create an half-inch fold with the cut that we made. Okay, you can see that with the cuts that we made, we are able to create an half-inch fold. I'll secure the folds with pin, okay, and I will rest my Asooke on it like so and give it a good press. This is to enable me create a crease line on the fold, so that when I want to stitch, it will be easy for me to stitch, because I'll be stitching on the crease line. It will guide me in stitching correctly, and it will make our design to come out neatly done. So after giving it a good press, I'll just go ahead and remove my pins. Okay, so I've gone ahead to give it a good press. Now I remove my pins. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do now is to go ahead and secure it with a stitch. Okay, I'll just turn it to the other side so that we can have a good view of it. I'll change the direction so that we can have a good view of it. Okay, so this is it. I'm going to go ahead now, following the crease line that we are created. I'm going to go ahead and sew with half an inch, making sure that the point, the V point there, matches with the joining that we made on the Asooke. I'll secure that part first. I'll secure that point with a pin. Okay, I'll secure that point with a pin. Then I'll go ahead and sew with half an inch, following the crease line we created from that point up to the other end where we cut diagonally. Then I will start from the midpoint too and stitch to the other side where we cut diagonally. Okay, so after sewing, this is what I have. You can see my stitch line there, how it formed a perfect V. Okay, so this is it. This is me trimming out the excess thread that I have there. You can see how it's sitting so pretty. So I'll go ahead and turn to the right side so that we can see how it's looking. So even before ironing, this is before ironing, you can see that it's sitting nice and beautiful. Okay, so this is what I have after ironing it. You can see how it's laying so pretty and nice. Okay, so this is what you are going to get to if you follow the tutorial correctly. So because this bubu has Asooke design at the end part, I'll go ahead and join the Asooke before I start shaping it. So I'm going to go ahead and place the Asooke on it. I'm not going to be attaching it together just the way you join 2 fabrics together. Okay, I'm going to be placing it on it, because if I join it the way we join 2 fabrics together, I will need to top stitch again. So in order to avoid that, I'm just going to go ahead, starting from one end of the bubu. I'm going to go ahead and place it on it like so and stitch closely. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to go ahead and search that part. I was supposed to do that before placing the Asooke, but at the time I was making the tutorial video, there was no light, so I just had to do what I have to do. So I placed the Asooke on it and I sew it on it like so. I've also gone ahead to hem the lower part of this bubu, okay, with half an inch. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to shape our bubu. Okay, so vertically I'm going to be taking 12 inches for my sleeve opening. Okay, and at that point I'm going to be imputing quarter of my hip measurement plus 1 inch. That 1 inch will serve as ease. Okay, remember this bubu does not have zipper, so we would not want to make it too tight because it will be difficult for the person to wear. So quarter of my bust measurement plus 1 inch. Vertically again, I'll take a half length where I'll be putting quarter of her waist measurement plus 1 inch, and from that her waistline I'll take 9 inches and I'll be imputing quarter of her hip measurement plus 1 inch. Okay, so I'll connect these dots together and I will stop 12-inch before the hem, okay, so that she'll be able to walk well. So I'll create a 12 inches opening there before the hem, okay, so that she'll be able to walk properly. So I'll connect these dots together and take to my sewing machine to sew. So before that, in order for it to show on the other side, remember we are going to be transferring this measurement on the other side. So I'll bring my fabrics together like so, making sure that the part that I marked is facing the other side. Then I will gently hit it, I will pat it so that the marking can reflect on the other side. I know it's going to be a faint one, but I'll go ahead and mark it very well so that it can be visible enough to be seen. So if you have watched to this point and you haven't subscribed to my channel, please kindly do so now. This will help this channel to grow. It will help me to create more nice content and will help YouTube to push the video to more audience. Thank you. So this is what we have. So I'll go ahead and make the lines visible enough. Okay, so this is it. I'll then take to my sewing machine and stitch on the two sides, on the markings that I have on the two sides. Then I'll show us what we have. So if you have watched to this point and you haven't given this video a thumbs up, please go ahead and do it now so that YouTube can push this video to those that might need it. And don't forget to comment, share and turn on your notification icon so that you'll be notified when I upload new tutorial, because I have more beautiful tutorial coming on your way. So thank you so much for watching. It's nice having you here, and see you in my next one. Bye.